analysis of the observation data has been completed.
能量有守恒吗？有没有严重的能量缺口呢？
根据计算结果，能量缺口高达9.88乘以10的39次方焦耳。
这要么是宇宙在耍我，不然就是遭了小偷。这缺口的能量规模可是得让太阳烧个80万年。这已经是近年来观测数据的第14起，伴随着恒星湮灭的能量缺口事件。只留下如花朵般的能量稳流，这美得像是朵花，代表着毁灭的花朵。Hello，
林秀，你在干嘛？你知道现在澳洲几点吗？你该不会连圣诞夜都在跑演算法吧？
只有在这个时候，我才能拿到量子电脑的时段呢。
你是诺贝尔物理学奖最年轻的得主，真是个大神，居然连电脑都没有。但这你得要负全责。
讲正经的，你帮我看一下这数据。
这能量缺口是9.88乘以10的39次方焦耳。
没错，14个案例全都在这个量级。
这太不正常，黑洞吸积都不会有这么高的漏失，除非有人封存了它。
ASKAP 观测站所得的结论基本一致，排除观测数据偏差的可能。这些案例的能量缺口来自于核心质量的消失，却没有释放出对应的能量，原本高质量的核心就凭空消失，也因此原本被核心引力吸附的物质连同恒星的余烬向外散逸，才会产生花朵般的能量稳流。
现在最大的疑问是它是怎么转移这么大的质量而不被测量到
？Shu, National Taiwan University, Taiwan, för hennes banbrytande kartläggning av energiflödesvägar i jordens ekosystem.
在这个星球上，每一次呼吸，每一片叶子的颤动，都是能量的交换。能量不是静止的数字，它有形、有路径、有结构。能量转移路径拓扑，正是这个结构的地图。在森林里，每一株树都是节点，每一次养分传递都是讯号。拓扑分析让我们第一次看到这些隐形的能量走廊，它们像脉冲，像呼吸，也像思考。能量在海洋里不只是被吞噬或传递，而是被暂存。从浮游藻类到鲸鱼，每一层都是能量的传递者。能量转移路径拓扑，让我们能追踪这些传递的过程。谁是流动的源头？谁是回收的终点？城市也是生态。它摄取、燃烧、排放、再吸收， 能量拓扑学揭示出一个更大的事实：透过能量拓扑，可以窥探所有系统的运作机制。在最微小的层次，能量仍以同样的逻辑流动，拓扑的规则从不改变。能量总会留下的轨迹，正是生命的形状。
请问你下一个方向是将这套理论应用在哪里？
天文学。关于外星文明，虽然因为遥远的距离让我们无法与他们相见，但是我们终于找到了方式来证明他们的存在，以及了解他们的生活，那就是透过能量转移拓扑。
透过与数千个地球上天然的以及人为的系统的能量转移拓扑的相近性比较，灵秀成功地发展出外星文明的遥测技术，不只是有无文明，甚至可以推估更精确的卡尔达肖夫指数。这也让找外星文明成为学术圈最热门的任务。就在2046、2048这3年中，在天文资料库中被登记可识别的外星文明数就高达了2733个。
Hello，
我这边有些发现，你看一下。
这是人类目前可观测到的宇宙范围。我透过分析找到了几个关键变数，用这变数筛选之后，这宇宙版图上的恒星就没剩几颗，而其中有着花瓣状问流的14颗恒星都在其中。
这关键变数是，
这颗恒星系内有没有文明存在？如果我再更深入地找寻这些出世星球的共同特征，我看到了这个：所有出世的恒星异常地集中在极狭窄的区间中，卡尔达肖夫指数一共1.2。1964年，苏联天文学家卡尔达肖夫提出一个宏大的问题：文明能掌握多少能量？1型文明彻底掌控整颗行星的能源，风、光、潮汐全都为人所用。进一步是第2型文明，驱动行星间的巨型工程与太空城市。戴森球环绕恒星，吸收几乎所有日照。最终是3型文明，整个星系都是资源，恒星、黑洞，甚至时空本身都可操控。
这是谋杀？不，这是种族灭绝的行为。
科学家早就发现，目前数千个已知外星文明的卡尔达肖夫指数最高就只到1.2。为什么是这个数字？科学家们至今都还在争论不休。第一种观点认为，卡尔达肖夫指数1.2可能就是文明的天花板，技术再强也难以突破。第2种观点则是觉得，文明进化到某种程度时，就会因为节能科技的发展而让耗用能量不增反减。第3种观点则是认为，这么高阶的文明可能正因为不在同维度内，所以现有机制无法检测。
结果竟然所有人都猜错了，竟然这根本就是在无尽黑暗中最后的救命呐喊声。只不过这宇宙太大，所以并没有谁能获救。 坏消息，根据我的计算，太阳系遭逢这样命运的几率几乎是100%。好消息是，我们大概还有243年的时间可以准备。
So your research tells me that there are extraterrestrial civilizations on 14 planets, that a mentally unstable person kidnapped their son, wiped out their entire species, and that this person will seize our son in 243 years?
No, I didn't say a deranged person, and we have no evidence of a single perpetrator. What I can confirm is only a few points.
First, 14 stars showed a massive energy deficit over a short interval, on the order of 9.88 times 10 to the 39 joules, without the expected gravitational leftovers, as if the cores were moved rather than collapsed. Second, each event is accompanied by the same pattern of energy turbulence, which we're tentatively calling the Poppy pattern turbulence. Third, those stellar systems show signs of nearby civilizations and cluster tightly around a narrow band at a Kardashev index of about 1.2.
You know, time and again, every doomsday prophecy has turned out to be false, and that makes it genuinely difficult for us to bring ourselves to take any meaningful action over such warnings.
We're not talking about a prophecy. Whether you accept it or not, the countdown has already begun. Please treat this as a falsifiable hypothesis, but also as an imminent threat that demands immediate validation. Professor Lin, this is Zhao Qi from the Beijing Astronomical Observatory. To begin with, your data is impressive, and your visualizations are highly persuasive. However, I believe your reasoning today extends beyond the scope of the available evidence. First, you draw a direct connection between the energy gap of 9.88 times 10 to the 39 joules and the recurrence of 14 events, attributing it to external containment. Second, you cite the absence of gravitational disturbances and the disappearance of the core image in ASCAP data as primary evidence. Third, and most critically, you essentially equate the existence of a civilization with targeted elimination and even go so far as to use the term genocide in a public setting.
中国不是10几年前就承认台湾了吗？哪见面还那么大火气？
Given that this falls within the domain of science, the priority lies in uncovering facts. What specific methods have you employed to rigorously eliminate alternative explanations? And how do you substantiate that your current conclusion reflects a predictable causal relationship, rather than a misinterpretation arising from erroneously attributing effects as causes due to certain confounding factors? The true spirit of science lies in its capacity to endure scrutiny. The answer you seek is likely not one that can be explained here and now with mere words. By midnight tonight, we will make publicly available the observational data from the Chime Observatory in the Northern Hemisphere and the ASKP station in the Southern Hemisphere, covering the periods before and after the 14 recorded incidents. This release will also include detailed analyses of the energy discontinuities and the so-called extraterrestrial intelligence index. 这14起恒星事件因祸得福的获得了天文界的关注，数百个研究机构或团体都投入参与了验算的过程。凭借着之前过硬的理论推导与模拟试算，目前学界对于未来这世界将会发生什么事，也有了越来越明确的定论。只可惜，天文界的大事仍旧很难影响到这个世界。2052年是个什么样的年代？2025年兴起的人工智能风潮，带来了白领中介职位被大幅替代。2032年，薪资性工作占人口比例跌破了50%大关，社会第一次出现大规模的非就业但非贫穷人口。为了避免社会的崩坏，各国于2034年起陆续实施了无条件基本收入制 UBI。人类开始进入到没有必须得工作的必要的时代，但对于许多人来说， 他甚至不知道自己存在的价值是什么。他们便成为失落的世代。所以在2052年，只有年纪较大的长者才有当初担忧会被 AI 抢工作的历史记忆，不再需要工作成为常识。以前是担心养不起孩子，而现在变成了不知道生孩子的意义何在。人类的生育率降到史上最低点。这世界上只剩下2类型的人：懂得自己人生价值何在，且不断自我突破的人，以及那些领着基本收入的失落的世代。由于生存都是由政府支撑的，所以关于家人、父母这些词汇的意义也越来越淡薄。UBI 给了他们生存的尊严，却给不了他们人生的意义。讽刺的是，随着生物科技的快速发展，人类的平均寿命已经来到118岁。同时，2050年时，意识可持久化科技 （Consciousness Persistence Technology，CPT） 的诞生，又引燃了一波对于人生的意义的论辩与讨论。意识可持久化科技的用途虽然也是用来延续生命，但它和冷冻复活或是干细胞器官再生的机制完全不同。它整合了意识数位化、意识备份与还原，以及3D 人体列印等技术，以实现将数位化的意识转移到新的身体副本。但它涉及到副本的产生、原版销毁、对于灵魂唯一性的质疑，以及衍生出各种法律、伦理、财务以及风险等问题。科技的发展严重地冲击何谓人的定义。这些不安与迷惘都随着2052年美国总统大选引燃。
Choose who's in charge. If taking UBI means you're not a citizen, then who's the next voter you erase?
If folks cashing checks get to vote on the size of the checks, you don't call that democracy, you call it self-dealing.
这是一场定义人的价值的一场选战。
这几年累积下来，我们对于花瓣状稳流事件仍然理解有限，但我们发现，当这恒星的核心消失前，会有些共同特征。
我们把14个案例在核心消失之前的所有多模态资料做了同步对齐，不是靠单一观测站，而是把各单位能互相校准的时间戳，从全光谱的光度变化、无线电波、微中子、宇宙辐射，甚至包括重力波，全部叠在同一条时间轴上。结果很不舒服，它们有共同前兆，而且顺序完美一致，就像是不同恒星被放在同一条流水线上反复操作的结果。
从科学上知道是流水线作业反而比较好，虽然结局可能是相同的，但至少我们在被挂上流水线前还有机会内读凶手是谁，而这正是我们的职责。
I'm back. I feel reborn. Today is not a product launch. Consciousness Persistence Technology, CPT, will redefine what it means to be alive.
This is the future, and I can take control of my future. This is the future, and I can take control of my future, and I can take control of my future.
This persistence technology has passed 10,000 continuous hours.
Some call it the end of death. Others call it the end of what it means to be human.
If we can come back forever, what does forever even mean?
Critics argue that printing a conscious copy is no different from birth, and that discarding a body amounts to murder.
Let me be precise. CPT is not life extension. It is a legal and economic reboot. If we allow someone to re-enter society carrying their entire accumulated wealth, the future will no longer belong to the next generation. It will be permanently occupied by the same people. I support CPT, but I will not allow it to become a compound interest exploit. Creative output, patents, authorship, research should persist with consciousness because civilization depends on innovation. But the majority of accumulated wealth must return to the public system and flow into the UBI pool. This is not about punishing immortality. It's about making sure history can still move forward.
My opponent calls this a reboot. I call it the government reaching into your pocket. CPT is not stealing someone else's life, and it is not an excuse for the statuto rewrite property rights. If you choose CPT, that's fine. You settle your estate the same way anyone else does. You pay the inheritance tax. Once taxes are paid and responsibilities are settled, what remains is your life, your family, your property. You're not buying survival from the government. You're legally inheriting yourself. I don't believe a society needs to confiscate private wealth just to prove it still has a future.
We need to stop pretending that low birth rates can be fixed with subsidies or slogans. In a world where life can be extended but social positions are never released, having children is no longer hope. It's a risk. Young generations are not refusing to have children. They simply don't see a future that will ever belong to them. My policy is not to push births. It is to restore the credibility of generational turnover.
We need to be honest. UBI exists to prevent collapse, not to define the future. Someone living on UBI is not a criminal, but that does not mean they should decide where civilization goes next.
So he just stood there, blinking those plastic eyes, telling me deadlines are non-negotiable? He always quotes policy like it's scripture. Yeah, but you know what burns? That dead-eyed lump of printed polymer thinks he can boss me around. I was carried 10 months and born screaming into this world, and I'm supposed to take orders from a piece of extruded ABS?
Wow.
That's a
CPT keeps you in power.
We may be forced to abandon the task of modeling the voting intentions of the UBI population. They don't answer phone calls. They don't fill out surveys. It's not that they refuse to take a stance. They don't participate at all. We once relied on swing states as a category. Now we need another, swing populations, and they make up a substantial share.
So of course they should vote for us.
That's the problem. They don't live off the government. They live off the system. In their eyes, the system is not a gift from any political party, but the only floor they have left. A floor doesn't stir enthusiasm. A floor only gives people a reason not to look up.
Mobilization assumes they still believe that voting changes something. Right now, they believe in only two things: that the checks will arrive on time, and that the world will not become more meaningful because of their participation.
We have confirmed that participation in UBI high-coverage districts is lower than expected. Below 0.5%. This isn't about support, it's about participation. Therefore, in terms of policy, we, who are on the opposite side of those receiving UBI, are in a favorable position.
I was initially concerned that it might trigger a backlash. The facts showed it did not. They lack organization, leadership, and any channels for mobilization. They are, psychologically speaking, already immune to exclusion from future deliberations.
Every day, the world's progress is driven by workers. Living isn't the same as having worth. Empty offices, shuttered classrooms, stores run by machines, parks full of people going nowhere, and a notification that vanishes as quickly as it arrives. Your vote carries the same weight as this
New
one.
polling tonight shows the Republican ticket surging to a 14-point lead with just a month to go.
Work gives us worth. We won't bankroll those who refuse to contribute.
The party's sharp turn against universal basic income recipients is resonating with voters who see themselves as carrying the load.
No person is...
We once believed that if our systems were generous enough and our technology far enough ahead, then every problem could be pushed down the road, every conflict quietly diluted. We live in a country without hunger, and yet one that has never been more disoriented. UBI ensures survival, but it cannot and should not define the future. Who takes responsibility? Who decides? Who moves us forward? Risk should never rest with those who will not have to answer for the consequences. What this country needs is not more comfort, but more people willing to carry the cost of their choices. The future will be placed in the hands of those who are ready.
I will not lead you through fear. Fear can make people move faster, but it cannot take us further. I will not lure you with hope. Hope is a beautiful word, but it is so often used to hide a hard truth, that we are not yet prepared. But there is one thing I am absolutely certain of. From the very moment this country was founded, it made a choice. A person does not deserve to remain because they are useful or because they are needed. And so no future should ever be one that is built on the sacrifice of any group of people.
Exit polls show that the Republican candidate, Cade, is currently heading toward a landslide victory tonight. Several states have already completed their vote counts. While these early data come from smaller states, as you can see, the opening of the night has already painted a sea of red.
Hey, don't let it get to you. These are all the early counts from their turf. It'll even out once the cities start reporting.
I know. Just hard seeing nothing but red up there.
Give it time. Our numbers will come. Blue's coming.
I hope you're right.
Just need a little blue, that's all.
Please let it turn. Come through for us tonight. Breathe. Just breathe.
Although neither side has yet reached a majority, in the Electoral College, the The way red is pulling so far ahead of blue on the trend line makes a GOP win look increasingly likely. What's worth noting, though, is this: the Republicans' anti-UBI positioning, putting themselves squarely against UBI recipients, doesn't seem to be gaining traction in states with more working voters. Starting with Washington State, several states in a row since then, and they're all big electoral college states, have gone blue.
Any last thoughts before we lock it in?
If I become a UBI recipient, will you still love me?
But what if I'm no longer able to work?
From the very moment this country was founded, it made a choice. A person does not deserve to remain because they are useful or because they are needed. And so no future should ever be one that is built on the sacrifice of any group of people. And so no future should ever be one that is built on the sacrifice of any group of people.
Tonight, the election that tore America apart and that hoped to redefine the value of what it means to be human has finally come to an end. According to the final results, after each state completed its certification, Democratic candidate Daniel R. Holbrook, by an extraordinarily narrow margin, has crossed the threshold of 270 electoral votes and will become the next president of the United States. This was not an overwhelming victory. This wasn't even a victory that let anyone breathe easy. It was a choice in which almost no side can honestly claim to have been fully understood. In this election, America did not reach consensus on CPT, consciousness persistence technology, nor did it find answers to UBI, falling birth rates, or the so-called lost generation. What voters truly chose was not which future to support, but a refusal to be excluded from the future. President-elect Holbrook represents a path of institutional intervention, letting technology advance, but requiring it to account for its social costs, protecting creativity, but breaking the endless inheritance of wealth and power, defending, without exception, every person's right to be heard. He is trying to use institutions to buy time for a civilization that no longer gives birth, and his opponent, Victor Cade, tonight secured an unprecedented share of support, especially among the professional class and those who believe they are still pushing society forward. This suggests that a substantial number of Americans are already prepared to accept a harsher, but clearer, narrative of the future. Tonight's outcome did not reunite the country. In an era where work is no longer necessary, life can be extended, yet the future will not step aside by itself. The question this election truly leaves behind is, what is the value of a human life in this world? Are the choices we make protecting civilization, or merely delaying the collapse it must eventually face? 4 o'clock, this is not an ending. It may not even be a turning point. 4 o'clock, it is only 2052. That's all for tonight. Thanks for watching. Good night.
What's that?
A Taiwanese scientist has made a hypothesis. Her data is impressive, but her conclusion is terrifying that we cannot prove she is right. But if she is, and we do nothing, the consequences might be more devastating than we can endure.